This is your News Source Evening Bulletin for today, Wednesday, the 6th day of January in the year 2020. I'm Gordon Mosley. Here's what we're tracking tonight. The mother of the young man who was badly beaten by police officers during an arrest is calling for a full investigation, and she's now concerned that the police force may be dragging its feet on the matter. The mother, Erica Prince, said if her son did something wrong and broke the law, then the process must be followed properly, but that should not involve a beating down.
You come and you coming for a big murder man, right? When you see the individual, you go to waist and you pull out a gun and you start shooting. And when you start shooting, my son run. Now come on, this is not the way to do things. You have to do things professional way, because when you do things like that, what will happen to the public? Right? What happen to the public? What will happen to people that are wrong Anthony? Now if you shoot well and other people get injured, where to tell the people family?
The man's mother said she would not condone any wrongdoings by her son. The young man, Anthony Prince, had previous brushes with the law where he was also assaulted. The mother said she knows that her son is not a saint, but that is not a license for the police to brutalize him the way they did.
I will not condone anything that my son do. I will not condone it. And my son know me. And my son tell me plain, he said, Mommy, I'm a big boy and I don't have his mind. I said, but Anthony, I could only talk to you as a mother. Our parents could do so much, but no more. And I try my best to do what I should do as a mother, that any mother will do. And I would not condone even no nonsense.
The Guyana Police Force has stated that the matter is being probed by its Office of Professional Responsibility. However, having seen the video which has gone viral, the mother is calling for immediate justice.
This is not right for the police force to stamp my son in his head. Now if my son walk in now and he fall down, what I gain out of it? Nothing. Because police boots in is it heavy. And when you stamp my son, you'll miss why is he stamping my son will head lashed to the road.
Since the incident, the woman said her son has been coughing up blood and now has blurry vision in one of his eyes. She said he also complains of regular headaches. She explained that he was taken to the hospital more than 24 hours after the beatdown, which was caught on camera. The incident has triggered calls for a widespread investigation that will involve more than just the Police Office of Professional Responsibility. More news coming up in just a moment. Mobile Special and all other mobile lubricants are distributed by Sol Guyana Inc. Mobile Special and all other mobile lubricants are distributed by Sol Guyana Inc.
People we have
weathered every storm
and risen to every challenge.
Because it is the people of Guyana
that gives it its strength.
All the people,
regardless of race,
class, or religion.
We are one people, one strength.
And now is our time. A time to rise. Together, we rise.
Elite Fragrances and Tradings is your destination for the most luxurious deodorant, perfume, cologne, body spray, sunglasses, wallet, belt, spas, men hair products, and much more. Elite Fragrances and Tradings, 123 Regent Road border between Ornock Street and Shiv Chandapal Drive. You can contact us on 619-5151 or 227-1255. The perfect fragrance is the ultimate accessory.
I wanna be a Super 95 millionaire.
You can be a Super 95 millionaire this Christmas when you purchase $3,000 or more Super 95 fuel from GPL service stations. Enter to win one of two first prizes of $1 million plus weekly cash prizes up to $500,000. That's not all. Each week until January 15, 2021, you can also have a chance to win smart TVs, tablets, shopping vouchers, and so much more. So hurry down to the nearest GPL service station and spend $3,000 or more on Super 95 fuel, and you can be a Super 95 millionaire. See press for more details.
Mom, what are you doing with GPL on your list?
Child, you forgot I have to pay GPL?
You got time with GPL?
I have to keep these lights on. The customers who think in that manner and refuse to honor their obligation to GPL are obviously not playing their part in ensuring quality service delivery. So, I will continue to pay my GPL bill on time, every time.
I recognize the value of your point, Mom. You were right.
Mobile Special and all other mobile lubricants are distributed by Sol Guyana Inc. Mobile Special and all other mobile lubricants are distributed by Sol Guyana Inc. Let's tell you now that Guyana recorded another coronavirus death today. The latest victim has been identified as an 85-year-old man from Region 10. This is the third death from coronavirus since the start of this year. The total number of deaths has now reached 167. There are 4 persons in the coronavirus intensive care unit this evening. 29 new cases have been recorded in the country over the past 24 hours. As the Ministry of Health considers introducing self-testing for HIV in Guyana, the Executive Director of the HIV Support and Counseling Group, Artisan Direct Support, Desiree Edgell, has not been fully sold on the idea. Ms. Edgell, who has been involved in the fight against HIV for more than 2 decades, explained to News Source today that while she's not opposed to the idea, she is uncomfortable with the move at this time, especially on a large-scale level. She said Artisan Direct Support has been advocating for years for pre- and post-test counseling, which is something that self-testing will not provide.
I was concerned earlier when we first heard about self-testing, about people going home, doing the tests, and then committing suicide because they could not deal with the whole idea of being positive. That was my biggest concern.
In Guyana, when a person is tested positive for HIV, organizations like Artisan Direct Support would work along with those persons to access treatment sites, where treatment is free. Ms. Edgell said she's not convinced that if someone does their own test and it turns out positive, that they'll seek any treatment. The HIV activist said the move to self-testing for HIV must be carefully considered.
I think a lot of awareness has to happen, because if people feel that you could go to the pharmacy, get a self-test, and then when you test positive, well, give me something for this thing, and the pharmacy ain't got nothing to give you, or you would have to pay for it. So we have to ensure that people understand, just like COVID-19, people understand about this, just like PrEP. Minister also spoke about PrEP, which is something that we're working with in Guyana.
Ms. Edgell, who was part of the consultations on the composition of the new HIV/AIDS Action Plan, which aims to strengthen the national response to HIV/AIDS, said that initially there was no budget in the plan for self-testing. The plan was launched by Minister of Health, Dr. Frank Anthony, on Tuesday. It has now been 10 months since the majority of students have been out of the classroom because of the coronavirus pandemic. While senior students preparing for regional examinations have returned to their classrooms, the Ministry of Education has yet to make a pronouncement on a possible time frame for the reopening of schools for all grades. The Education Minister Priyamanik Chan has repeatedly stated that she will be guided by health officials. Minister of Health Dr. Frank Anthony believes parents need to ensure they develop a proper schedule for their children to ensure learning is not lost.
We would have lost almost a year already, and if this continues, then there would be a substantial deficit in the child's education.
The health minister believes once parents develop a work plan for their children, there will be no substantial loss for the child. Many public school teachers have been offering online classes, but they have faced challenges since many of their students might not have access to the internet.
As parents and as guardians, you need to get whatever the curriculum is, and the ministry has published these things. They have published a lot of resource material, workbooks, worksheets, and you need to ensure that that child is learning at home and following the curriculum.
And the health minister has also issued a warning against students going into the community without wearing face masks. He said they too should be following the coronavirus guidelines and also protect themselves.
If these children are going to be going out into the community, running around the place, and not taking precautions, they can get infected. So they need to also take precaution when they leave the home, and just like everybody else.
The number of coronavirus cases in Guyana has been climbing steadily since the first case was detected in March of last year. Well, almost 2 years after a university student was charged with allegedly threatening to bomb the Turkine campus of the University of Guyana, she walked out of the Sparendam Magistrates Court a free woman, as a no-case submission was accepted by the presiding magistrate. The 26-year-old woman, Shaniza Jaffarali, was charged following an investigation by the police into several threatening phone calls to the University of Guyana. The incident forced a lockdown at the Turkine campus for several days back in 2019. The prosecution closed its case in the matter on the 1st of December, and the attorney for the accused filed a no-case submission, telling the court that the prosecution had failed in its efforts to link Jaffarali to the crime. The magistrate agreed today and accepted that no-case submission. Jaffarali was first charged in February of 2019 under the Telecommunications Act. Following the acceptance of the no-case submission today, the woman told reporters that she has been through a lot since she was charged.
Well, it's basically everything Ms. Lashmi just said. It has caused me great psychological trauma. I have not been able to return to school yet, and that's not to say for the fact that I'm not allowed to return, but because I'm so afraid and the situation that I was put in, who would want to put themselves in a situation like that? I've been going to therapy for the past year. I've been in therapy for this, and I don't think another person should have to go through something like this because of negligence and because of people not investigating properly.
The university student has always maintained her innocence. Mobile Delvac and all other mobile lubricants are distributed by Salt Guyana Inc. Mobile Delvac and all other mobile lubricants are distributed by Salt Guyana Inc.
Due to the impacts of the global pandemic, COVID-19, across our nation, essential organizations like us have chosen to adopt innovative approaches to meet the emerging needs of our customers while protecting our employees. Here are some quick tips to make managing your GPL bill easier while we practice social distancing. To register for electronic billing, you can use the e-billing tab on your website. To access your bill balance, you can use 4 options: the website live chat at gpl.net, the online inquiry on our website under billing, SMS freedom by texting your GPL reference number to 624-0400 or 608-8400, or call our call center at 226-2600. A message from the Guyana Power and Light Incorporated.
We are legions of men standing strong, but never too proud to stoop and help someone. We must send a clear signal to all. Do right. Walk in upright ways, knowing that's what being a man is all about. And ever aware that things will only get worse when good men do nothing. Stand strong. Be the one to live right.
Been through it all.
But as a people we have
weathered every storm,
and risen to every challenge.
Because it is the people of Guyana
that gives it its strength.
all the people,
regardless of race,
class, or religion.
We are one people, one strength.
And now is our time. A time to rise. Together, we rise.
Mobile Delvac and all other mobile lubricants are distributed by Salt Guyana Inc. Mobile Delvac and all other mobile lubricants are distributed by Salt Guyana Inc. Across the region right now, the Cayman Islands government has received its first shipment of the Pfizer BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine. Pfizer BioNTech was the first vaccine to receive approval in the UK, and it has since been approved by healthcare regulatory agencies around the world, including Canada, the European Union, and the USA. The Ministry of Health in the Cayman Islands has been working closely with the Healthcare Services Authority's Public Health Department to implement the rollout of the vaccine in the Cayman Islands. The vaccine will initially be available to those aged 70 and over, certain patients in high-risk categories, healthcare workers, and other high-risk frontline staff. It will be taken to those who are household and administered by a public health official, should members of the public desire that option. When there is better availability of the vaccine, the offering will extend to those aged 60 and above who are part of the first stage of vaccination. The government in Trinidad and Tobago says it is fighting against further misinformation by the Organization of American States General Secretariat concerning last month's tragic drowning of a number of Venezuelans off the coast of Venezuela. According to the government of Trinidad, the OAS Secretariat has continued to circulate information that the remains of those who drowned were found on the maritime border of Venezuela and Trinidad and Tobago. A group of 41 Venezuelans set off from Venezuela bound for Trinidad on the 6th of December. But Venezuelan authorities said their boat, which was capable of carrying only 8 persons, capsized. The shipwreck occurred 11 nautical miles from Guyana in Venezuelan waters, and the bodies washed ashore there. Venezuelan authorities found that the vessel was overloaded and lacked life jackets or navigation aid. The owner of the vessel was arrested and has since been charged for human trafficking. And finally tonight, international news. This evening, Washington police are clearing supporters of President Donald Trump from the U.S. Capitol after they breached one of the most iconic American buildings, engulfing the nation's capital in chaos after Trump urged his supporters to fight against the ceremonial counting of the electoral votes that confirmed President-elect Joe Biden's win. Shortly after 1 o'clock this afternoon, hundreds of pro-Trump protesters pushed through barriers set up along the perimeter of the Capitol, where they tussled with officers in full riot gear, some calling the officers traitors for doing their jobs. About 90 minutes later, police said demonstrators got into the building, and the doors to the House and Senate were being locked. Shortly after, the House floor was evacuated by police. An armed standoff took place at the House front door as of 3 p.m., and police officers had their guns drawn at someone who was trying to breach it. A Trump supporter was also pictured standing at the Senate dais earlier in the afternoon. A woman is in critical condition after being shot in the chest on the Capitol grounds. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting.